Let's see how to add custom tooltips for items and blocks. Alright, we find ourselves back in IntelliJ once more, and in this tutorial we're going to be adding tooltips to both items as well as blocks. So first of all, let's start with the items. So in our dowsing rod item class, what we can do is when we have a custom class for an item, we can just override a simple method, and that is the appendTooltip method. So you can see if I start typing in append, I can just select the appendTooltip and then press tab to autocomplete, and then we will fill this with something interesting. So let's just fill this, and then I will explain after I've added everything in. So you can see we're starting with an if statement, and we're going to say if screen.hasShiftDown, just pressing the tab key once again to autocomplete. And what we're then going to do is also add an else statement right here. So we're going to have something that happens when we press shift down, and then something that happens when we, don't press shift down. So we're going to say tooltip.add, and then we're going to add a new translatable text right here. Inside of it, we need to pass in a string that is a key, and that's going to be item.tutorial_mod.dowsing_rod.tooltip.shift. So that's quite the crazy key, but that's okay. Then we're going to copy this and just paste it in at the bottom here as well without the shift. So what is happening here? Well, we're basically using, once again, a translatable text, just like we've done with the send message here. And what is happening here is that this text right here, so once we're actually translating it in the en_us JSON file, that is going to be displayed when we don't press shift down, and then this one with the .shift is the one that we see when we are actually pressing shift. So what we're going to do is in our resources assets lang en_us JSON file, I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy over the two actual translations because that's not too crazy, right? So we're just basically having the actual key that we defined here, and then we just have it right here. And then you can see here, right click to find valuables. That's the actual description when we press shift. And when we don't press shift, then we're seeing press shift for more information. And we have these, the paragraph symbol and the E here, and then paragraph symbol R. Those are basically the formatting codes for Minecraft. So there's a great wiki article that I will link in the description below where you can, basically take a look at all of the different types of formatting codes that you can use, and you should be able to use them in basically any string anywhere in the program, or let's say in the in the en_us JSON file, for example, to color the code in or to just format the code a little bit different than the rest. Well, now the big question comes in, right? This is all fine and well, but how would I now add this to a block? Well, the way that we're going to do this is, very simple. We're going to do this with an anonymous class. Now, if you don't know what an anonymous class is, highly recommend taking another look at the Java introduction. I actually talk about anonymous classes sort of towards the end of the Java introduction. And what I will actually do is I will copy over the actual two methods because writing them out is not necessary. This is, of course, all available to you in the description below, GitHub repository and individual gist as well. And what you will see is that right here, when we have the register block item method, right, we're passing in a tooltip key, right, a string, and then we're doing the same for the register block method. So we're basically overloading the register block method with another parameter here. So even though they have the same name, those two methods, of course, the difference here is that the other one has one extra string parameter. This is how basically the program can differentiate between the two. That's what's called method overloading. Also, I would say sort of a beginner to intermediate level concept in Java. So it shouldn't be too crazy here. And so if we add a string parameter to the register block call, then we can basically add this. So this calls the register block item method here. And then inside of here, when we're creating the new block item, we're actually, you can see, creating a new anonymous class right here. So the appendTooltip now is also overridden in this block item, which will then just, add this here. So in this case, you can see that we just have one simple tooltip basically. So when we hover over it, we just have one tooltip. We don't have the press shift for more information. For that, you just need to change this up a little bit, but this shouldn't be too crazy. Right, so to actually implement this, let's just add this to the block. So after the mod item group mithril, we're just going to add a string right here, and we're just going to make this, let's say this is going to be the block, put in tooltip.tutorial_mod.mithril_block. Yeah, that's going to be good. Let's do this, and then we can just get over to the en_us JSON file again, and I'm just going to copy it over one more time so you can see the mithril block. It's just a magical block. That's just the tooltip that we're going to add. And that's actually all that we really need to do. So it always comes down to the appendTooltip method right here. So it shouldn't be too crazy, all things considered, right? We're just adding something to a list of texts, basically. If you want multiple lines, you just add another text, so something like this. So I just duplicated the line, right, with Control D, and then you can just have something else here, for example, right? And this would then be displayed in a new line, in theory. So that's pretty much all that you really need to know. So I guess let's see if it works. Alright, we found ourselves back in Minecraft, so let's see if I hover over the dowsing rod. There you go, press shift for more information, and when I press shift, right click to find valuables, and the same goes for the Mithra block. You can see a magical block. It has the actual tooltip added, so that's actually how easy it can be. Right, and that is actually how easy it is to add tooltips to items and blocks. Once again, all of the code is available to you in the description below, GitHub repository and individual gists. Otherwise, this would be it for this tutorial right here. I hope you found this useful and you learned something new. If you did, I would very much appreciate a like. And don't forget to subscribe for more tutorials just like this one. So, yeah.